Okay, here is the second part of your chapters 1 and 2 test review. And number 5, we'll start with that one. It says Edward, Laura, and Sean all have interviewed for having a hard. One second, I can't see that one. Edward, Laura, and Sean have all interviewed and are having a hard time deciding which person to hire. Interviewed with some person. I guess my graph is kind of covering it up. He knows the following details about each. Sean and Laura have each spent 6 years in college and have had the same GPA. So Sean and Laura both have 6 years in college and have the same year GPA. Edward spent 4 years in college but has a higher GPA. Edward and Laura both have 10 years work experience. So one is about 4 years, one is 6 years, and then Sean has less work experience than Sean and Laura. So Sean spent 6 years in college, so this is going to be the 6 years in college, and so is Laura. Laura's also spent 6 years in college, so Laura and Sean, they both spent 6 years in college. Laura has 10 years work experience, and so does Edward. Edward has 6 years work experience. So I can kind of fill up those dots just like that, okay? Because my years in college, this would be 6 years in college. Edward has 4 years in college. Laura and Edward both have 10 years work experience, and Sean has less work experience. Okay. My variables in the other graph are expected pay and GPA in high school, or GPA in school. Edward has a higher GPA. Sean is willing to work for less money, so his expected money is going to be down here. Laura and Edward both want to have, they are expecting a little bit more money. So it only talks about the GPA. Well, Laura and Sean have the same GPA. So Laura and Sean have the same GPA. Sean is willing to work for less. Okay. So they have the same GPA. Laura and Sean both have the same GPA. Sean is willing to work for less. Edward has a higher GPA, and he expects to make the same amount of money as Laura. So that should be like that, and we'll put an Edward there. Now, who would you hire? I guess there's a lot of reasons why you might hire Sean, Laura, or Edward, and that would really be personal preference. So we can just kind of do that. You can just give reasons why you might want to. Maybe you want to hire somebody who's not going to expect as much money. Maybe you want somebody to perform the best in school. Maybe you want somebody who's has a lot of work experience and a lot of college experience, and so you can kind of make a decision on who you want to hire based on that information. We're going to go up to number 6. Number 6, examine the tile pattern below. So I have figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and figure 4. And then it says draw figures 5 and 6 on your paper. Describe how the pattern grows. Well, figure 1 just has one of two, or one tile in the figure. 2 has another row of 2 tiles. It's the same as number 1. Figure 3 is the same. The top part is the same as figure 2, but it has another row of 4 tiles. Figure 4 has, the top part of it is the same as figure 3, but it has another row of 6 tiles. So figure 5 is probably going to have the same top as figure 4. And there's that. There's the same top as figure 4, but then it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My bottom row is grown by 2 each time. So this should have a bottom row of 8 tiles. So there's figure 5. And if I draw figure 6, let's see here. I think I have room right here to draw figure 6. That's 4. Figure 5 has 5 rows. And then I need another row. Figure 6 is going to have 6 rows. And it's going to have 2 more. It's growing by 2 more than the one grew before. So there's figure 6 right there. Okay? So how does the pattern grow? Figure 1, the figure number gives the number of rows. Okay, the figure number will give the number of rows, and each row grows by 2 more than the row by 4. Okay? Bonus, how many squares will be in the 10th figure? Show how you found your answer. Well, in order to do this, I'm going to make a little table here. So I'm going to have the table, and this is going to be my figure number. This will be number of tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And I think that's going to help me find a pattern here. Figure 1 has 1 tile. Figure 2 has 3 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That has 7 tiles. The next figure has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that grew by 6. Then this one's going to grow by 8. So it's going to be up to 21. And this is going to grow up by 10. So it's 31. Let's see if I got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, it seems to be growing in that. This is going to grow by 12. Then this is going to grow by 14. So it should be 57. And this is going to grow by 16. So it should be 73. And this is going to grow by 18. So it should be 91. So it should have 91 tiles. And that's my answer for that one. The next one's a guess and check table. Okay, let's look at this one. Margaret is helping her neighbor with some yard work. The neighbor pays Margaret 75 cents for each bucket of weeds pulled and $1.50 for each new petunia planted. When Margaret finished, she had twice as many as empty pots as buckets of weeds, and she earned $30 in the yard. How many buckets of weeds did Margaret pull? How many petunias did she plant? So we'll go here, let's start here. Number of weeds. And then we're going to go number of petunias. Let's see how they spell that. And then money for weeds. Money, petunias. Total money. Check. And I want $30 for that. So it says Margaret finished, she had twice as many as empty buckets of empty pots as buckets of weeds. So that means that she's going to have twice as many petunias planted. So if she has 2 buckets of weeds, that means she's going to have 4 petunias. Weeds she gets 75 cents for, so that's $1.50. And then petunias she gets $1.50 for, so that'll be 6. Total money is $7.50, and I'm way too low. So we'll try 10. If she had 10 of those, then she's got to have 20 of these. So if I have 10 times 75, that's $7.50. 20 times $1.50, That's $30. And now I'm at $37.50, and I'm too high. So we'll try 8 and 16. Okay, so let me get my calculator out here. I'll need that probably for this. And if I go here, 8 times 75, eight times 0.75 equals, well, that's $6. Wasn't too hard. And 16 times $1.50, that's going to be $24. $6.24 is $30. And check, that's the number. So she had 8 buckets of weeds and 16 potted petunias. And that's going to be my answer. There's a guess and check table. So I just put down all the different variables, I put the money down, and I just went step by step until I solved it. And that is part 2 of your test review.